Hi, welcome to another review by Peace Rogue. I've done a review on the Soul Screamers series from books 1 to 4, and that link is down below. But this review is on If I Die, which is book 5 in the Soul Screamer series. So in the last 2 days I've read 2 books, and the first was Wither, which I just did a review on, and that was excellent. And yes, and last night I started If I Die, and I finished it this morning. And if you've seen my review on the Soul Screamers, you know that the 4th book wasn't my favourite. But the 5th book, so If I Die, it was wonderful, I have to say. It was, brilliant. It's maybe the best book of the series. From start to finish, I was just in love with it, and I thought it was fantastic. Obviously in this book, Kaylee finds out that her borrowed life from her mother is kind of up in 6 days. She's 6 days to live, and as you read this whole book, that whole cloud of sadness is hovering over it the whole time that she's going to die. And it's sad enough when you read it from her point of view, you know, but it's everyone else that you think of that's devastating. And oh my god, I think the most devastating what I felt was for her dad. He just couldn't accept it, and you know, he wanted to stop it, obviously. And then there was Nash and Todd and her friend Emma, and it was just like, obviously the story itself and the writing, it was exciting, intense, and it was funny, and it was sweet, but it was just so devastating and heartbreaking at the same time. And obviously it couldn't just be about Kaylee and her dying, so that, you know, the author Rachel Vincent brought in some kind of supernatural thing that came to the school. So there's an incubus teacher at their school, and Kaylee, with her last 6 days, decides to kind of focus on that. And Kaylee, she's such a good character in this book. I think in the 4th one she did get too annoying with her jealousy with the whole Sabine thing, and it was just too much teen drama. But in this one she was a lot more, I think, mature, and all the characters just kind of stepped it up a bit. So I just think this book was really, really good, and you should definitely check it out if you're a fan of the Soul Screamer series. And if you haven't read the Soul Screamer series before, I don't know why you're watching this video, but look at the review first and start from the beginning, because it's well worth the read. It's one of the better YA series out there. Something really good happens in this book that I was waiting for, and it was just, I wasn't sure where the author was going to go with the ending, because I knew obviously there's another book, and I knew Kaylee was probably going to be in the next book, but I didn't know how that was going to happen, whether she just wouldn't die, whether she would die and she'd come back, or she'd come back to something else. And there was just, you know, there was always those questions in your mind, and I just didn't know what was going to happen, and that was really great. And the ending was so exciting. And I just think it was a really, really good book. So please check that out. So that is my spoiler-free review. Now I'm going to move on to talk about the spoilers in the book. And I know this book was just out yesterday, so not everyone is going to have read it by now. So I suggest you wait a while and read it, and come back and watch this part of the review, because it would be horrible if it was spoiled for you. It would ruin the whole book. So please switch it off now if you haven't read the book. Okay, so the big thing that I've been waiting to happen in this book was the Todd and Kaylee relationship, and I love Todd. And I didn't think the author was going to go so much into the relationship. Like, maybe a kiss, I thought. Maybe he'd find out he loved her. She thought she might like him. But I was delighted when they actually really bonded, and like, I'm sure they realised they're in love. Like, I'm sure Kaylee realises she's in love with Todd too. And the only thing I was kind of hoping they'd like sleep together just to cement their lovely, sweet relationship, but I suppose we have to keep that for the next book. But yeah, they're so lovely together, and they're so likeable and sweet, and Todd is so happy, and it was just so sad when they got together. They only had 2 or 3 days left, and it was kind of nice. Like, Nash was constantly dwelling on it, but Todd, even though he was devastated that she was going to die, he didn't dwell on it when he was with her, and he just accepted that they had that time together and that they made the most out of it. So their relationship was really, really good, and I was delighted that they finally got together. Nah, she's going a bit downhill now. Like, he went back on the frost, and he was like influencing Kaylee to go with him alone, and he's really angry. In the end, he was so angry with her. I was hoping he would be relieved that she was alive, but no, he was still quite mad at her. Like, did no one explain what really happened to him? I don't know. There was an Emma in danger part of the story, and I've said this in my review. I'm just sick to death of that. In every book there seems to be, oh, we have to save Emma. I'm not crazy about Emma just for that reason, really. It's all about her, isn't it? But I mean, it wasn't too much, so thankfully. Yeah, so the ending was really exciting when Kaylee got stabbed, and I was like, oh, he can't take her soul, but she stabbed him back, and it was, oh my god, it was heartbreaking when Todd found her, and he was crying, and he brought her to the hospital, and then her dad came, and he was bawling, crying, and then she died, and I was like, oh my god, what's going to happen? And I knew she was going to be in the next book, like, so, in some way she was going to come back. So she's back, not as a Reaper, but something quite similar, where she has to reclaim souls. But, so she's back kind of physically and everything, but she'll never age. She's not really alive. I mean, she doesn't really have a heartbeat, I don't think. Or does she? So I am going to miss the normal human Kaylee. I mean, honestly I am, because I like my main character's human, and she's not 100% human now. Well, she's never really human, but she's not even alive now. At least she's still there, and her dad still has her, and her friends still have her, but, I'm interested to see how that changes her in the next book too. God, yeah, I'm kind of going mad. I read the book so fast. Like, such a long wait now for the next one. I don't even know when it's out. Sometime 2012, I know. So the next book will be exciting, and her and Todd are together. Natch is going to be a bit of a kind of a downer. I know he's still kind of angry with her. I'm looking forward to seeing her relationship with her dad now. You know, like I say, he's so relieved to have her back. It was just a perfect, I think, a almost completely perfect book. And I just loved it. And that and the third one I would probably be my favourite. I thought this one would be even better because her and Todd finally get together. That's my review. It's a long way for the next one, I know, but this book, it was really sad, but it was really great. And thank you very much for watching, and let me know what you think of it.